Hey everybody, it's Keisha, and guess what? I'm gonna blow your mind today. We're gonna make a sourdough style bread using whey from yogurt that we made yesterday. I'm not kidding. Using the whey, the liquid byproduct from yogurt. That's exactly what we're gonna use to get this amazing sourdough flavor in this gorgeous loaf of bread. Look how fluffy it is. I wish you could smell it, wish you could taste it. You know what? Let me show you how to make it, and you can do all of that. You can smell it, you can taste it, and then you can show me what you've got. All right, guys, let's get started. All right, I couldn't take it anymore. I mean, I had to do something with the byproduct of the Greek yogurt that I made, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it. I'm gonna make this Dutch oven yogurt whey bread. Okay, it's gonna taste like sourdough, but it's not gonna be made with a starter. Now, I do have sourdough starter in my fridge, but this is just gonna be something different, something easy. So if you don't have a starter, but you want that sourdough flavor, this is how you're gonna get it. I have 3 cups of flour right here in my bowl, and I'm gonna put 2 generous pinches, which comes to about a teaspoon of salt in my bowl too. I'm gonna put about a tablespoon of yeast, and I'm very careful because it's a brand new box and it likes to explode on me. Okay, so I have a tablespoon of yeast, the 2 teaspoons of salt, and 3 cups of flour. And I'm gonna just mix it all together like this in the bowl. And I'm gonna slowly incorporate some of the yogurt whey that I heat to about 110 degrees. So this is just gonna get slowly incorporated in, and I'm gonna mix it all together. There we go. Perfect. So I'm gonna go ahead and just mix this up, let it all come together, form a really nice dough. And then I'm gonna let it proof for about 2 hours. It's gonna double in size. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a little flour down on my countertop here. Just a little to dust it. I'm going to get all of this dough off of my fingers. And just to make sure that everything is mixed in really, really well and uniform, I'm gonna knead it for just a couple of minutes. Okay. Yeah. So this is moving around really smoothly and easily on the counter. It's not getting caught up. We're about there. Very nice. Okay. Smells like bread. I mean, you can smell the yeast and the yogurt, the tang of the yogurt whey. Okay, this is where I'm going to change gears just a little bit and use some olive oil, just very, very lightly on the countertop. And a little bit more for the bowl. Perfect. All right. And we're going to roll this out in the oil. Now, what I love about rolling it in oil and kneading it in oil as opposed to flour is that the oil gives it a really nice crackly crust and kind of a buttery flavor too whenever you bake it. So this is really nice and smooth, very pliable, super soft. Then I'm going to put it in my bowl, turn it and flip it again, and we're going to let this sit for about 2 hours until it's doubled in size. So it's been over 2 hours, just a little bit over 2 hours, and the dough has risen, it's doubled in size, and it's absolutely puffy and gorgeous, and even kind of smells a little bit like sourdough, but a little sweeter. It's interesting. So this whey mixture with the flour and the yeast, I'm really excited to see what this texture is going to be like, what this flavor is going to be. So what I'm going to do now is just pour a little bit more oil, just a little, onto my countertop here. All right. And I'm going to turn this dough out onto the counter, and we're going to kind of form it and shape it and let it rest for about 30 minutes before we bake it. There we go. I'll put this guy up here. All right. So I just want to kind of push the air out of it. All I'm doing is shaping it. See? Go here and here, and just folding it over and kneading it just a little bit. There. So as I'm doing this, I'm cupping my hands around the dough just to make really pretty surface tension all over the top of the dough ball right here. So I'm really, really very excited. This is going to make such a delicious bread. All right. All right. I'm going to use this plastic wrap, and we're going to cover it and let it rest for about half an hour. Then we're gonna bake it. Okay, so 30 minutes have passed and the dough has risen just a little bit more. It's nice and soft, you can see it there. And we're gonna go ahead and just like let it chill there for about 20 more seconds. Now my oven is preheated to 500 degrees. I have a cast iron skillet on the very bottom rack and my baking stone on the middle. First thing I need to do is take 2 cups of ice water and pour it into my cast iron skillet. And what this is gonna do is this is gonna create some steam that's gonna stay inside the oven and bake the bread to give it that really lovely crispy crust and that moist interior. So, first thing we're gonna do, pour the water in. There we go. All right, so that's gonna create steam. Now I need to drop the temperature down to 450. So, right there. Perfect. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is use my cutting board as kind of like a peel. So I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle it very generously with semolina or masa, whatever you have. And this is going to make the dough slide off very easily onto my baking stone. Okay. So I take my dough very carefully. And just move it here onto my pseudo peel, my makeshift peel. All right. So now what I'm also going to do is take my lame, which is, this is a bread carving instrument basically. So this is what a lot of bakers use to go ahead and make those really cool designs that we see on these artisan loaves. And I'm going to use this just to make a few slash marks in my dough. And as the steam from inside rises, it's going to create those funky little patterns that you see in bakeries. So I'm just going to make a few little slash marks. And a little one right there. Okay. Let this kind of puff up just a little bit more. There we go. All right. A little more masa just for good measure. Okay. Now let's see if we can go ahead and slide this off onto the stone. Okay, the moment of truth awaits. Holy cow. Say a prayer. Here we go. Okay. There. All right. So let's see if we can do this. Whoa, sticking a little bit right here. That's all right, folks, because this is how we learn, right? Trial and error. There we go. Okay. All right. See if I can reshape it really, really quickly. Move it around a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So the stone is already super hot, and that's going to create an instant crust. It's supposed to keep it from sticking to it, making it easier for me to pull it off. I'm going to set the timer for 25 minutes, and then we'll check it again and see how lovely, puffy, golden it's gotten. All right, the timer just went off, and it's time to get our bread out of the oven. You have to check this out. You can see the steam just coming up. And that bread is golden brown. Okay, so let's see if we can go ahead and get this back on our little makeshift peel. Look at that. Woo! All right. Perfect. Yes, 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 yes. It worked. Okay. So remember what I said about that pizza stone being hot enough that it forms like an instant crust and it's going to keep the bread from sticking to it? That's exactly what happened. So look at that. Beautiful. Nice golden color. You can still see some of the funky shapes that we made with our lame. So now what we're going to do is let this beautiful, sweet and fragrant bowl of bread just rest and chill for a few minutes before we slice into it. So I know you're anxious. I know you want to try it. I want to try it, but we have to let it cool. Okay, so give it about 10 minutes and then we're going to start slicing. Okay, enough time has gone by and I'm ready to cut into this. So here we have it. Oh man, it smells really great. It smells like sourdough. It smells really sweet. I mean, I'm just going for it. It's so tender and so pillowy inside. Look at that. This texture is amazing. It's so soft, and the crust is still crunchy, but it's not like, you know, so hard where it'll, you know, it's just too much. This is the perfect texture of this bread. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut another little piece right here. Just cut it straight across. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. It still has nice big holes in it, nice big air pockets. You can tell it rose. There's plenty of steam, so I got like a nice big bubble in it. You know what? This is a great bread that's going to accompany beans. It's going to accompany any dinner. You can actually even go ahead and hollow this out and use it as a bread bowl for spinach dip, for chili, for anything that you want. This is a crazy easy bread that we're going to go ahead and just try with just a little drizzle of olive oil right here, and maybe even just a tiny little sprinkle of salt. This is going to be amazing. It has like a milk-like texture. It's so like smooth and kind of creamy. It's so sweet. And this is a sourdough flavored bread that we made out of the whey from yogurt, homemade Greek yogurt that we made. So you know what? If you are making something and there's a byproduct, see if you can find a use for it. Let's use all of our ingredients. Let's use everything that we have as far as our resources go. Let nothing go to waste if you can. It's all about preserving and using and just like being grateful for what we have and being able to use what we have and make it into something that you love. All right, this is Keisha. I'm late for my meeting at Breadaholics Anonymous. I should be there. I actually think I ran the meetings in time, but you know what? This is just too delicious, so I'm never gonna give it up. But check out Kitchen Bravo for more information, for more details, for more recipes, for more awesome things that you can do with scratch-made, homemade baking. It's just so easy not to try it yourself, guys. All right, I'm gonna have another bite. See you guys tune in later. Go ahead and subscribe. Oh gosh, so good.